Hello, everyone. I just want to give a little Black history here from my own experience. As you can see, I'm no young chicken. I've been around for a while. So I grew up as a girl in the 50s and 60s. So I saw the tail end of, the Jim Crow era. I was born in the Mississippi Delta, and I saw how things were, Although I really wasn't around white people, though, We didn't really interact that much with white people down there. They had their side of town, and we had our side of town. And we lived out in the country, so I didn't get to go very many places, So I guess I led a pretty sheltered life in that way, I wasn't subjected to, all of that nasty racism and stuff, Although some of that stuff did happen in our town. I did publish a video out there a couple of days ago about the Freedom Riders coming to town. And my sister was talking about some things that had happened and one violent incident that she witnessed, But I really didn't, have very much contact with white people. We didn't go to school with them or anything like that. But now what I did see, though, was that Black people had to conduct themselves in a certain way, I did see Black people, having to address white people as yes, ma'am, and no, sir, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, I saw that, And I'm sure if they had not done that, they would have suffered some type of consequences, And I do remember having to go to, when you went to the movies, they had a couple of movie houses in our little town. And Black people, got their ticket at the window, and they didn't walk in the front door like white people did. They would get their ticket and they would walk into the front door on the first floor, and sit down there and watch the movie. Black people had to go around the side of the movie house and up some stairs and sit in the balcony, to watch a movie. So we were not even allowed to sit with white people, And so things like that I did witness, And also, Black people, the jobs that most Black people had, were working for white folks, Jobs like, one of my uncles was a painter, I think he made pretty good, decent money doing that, painting houses and whatnot. And my auntie, she was a maid, along with most of the Black women, around there that did work. They worked as maids, My own mother, worked for this white family for a while. And I have to say, though, that I believe that they were really good to my mother, the ones that she worked for. I think most of them did treat their housekeepers and maids and whatnot, you know, in a decent manner, that I can tell, you know. But, you know, those are the types of jobs that they would do. You know, I think there was a sawmill around, and some of the black men worked at the sawmill, you know, there. But otherwise, people worked in the fields, you know, during cotton picking time. People went out in the fields, and they weren't forced to go out in the fields, you know, but that was a way to earn money. So they went out and picked cotton. Or when it was, you know, the cotton was just coming up and needed to get the weeds out, people would chop cotton. We call it chopping cotton, you know. And I didn't get to do very much of that because I was always babysitting my little brother. And then when my other sisters came along, them. And I don't think my daddy really wanted me out there, because I remember I would beg to go to the fields, you know, because all of my friends were working in the fields, and I wanted to go out there too, you know. And I did get to go a few times, you know, and one time I earned myself $100. Boy, I thought I was in high cotton then, you know. But that was the way of life, you know. The kids, you know, went to the fields to earn money to get their school clothes, you know. So that was my experience, you know, with the little that I remember, you know, about how things were back then, you know. I also noticed too that in the downtown, you know, part of our little town, it seems like on one side of the street, it was mostly white stores, you know, and I doubt if we were allowed to. I know there was a drugstore, and I doubt if black people were allowed to go in there and sit down and eat or anything. You know, I don't know. I don't know if, I don't remember much about it. You know, they had some clothing stores there. And, but on the other side of the street, there was, it seemed like mostly maybe black people maybe had stuff there. I know on that side of the street too, there was a grocery store ran by Chinese people, you know, Asian people. We did have a couple of Asian families living in the town then, you know, and they had, I think there were 2 grocery stores, and they were both ran by those Asian people. One other thing I remember is during Christmas time, you know, they would have a parade every year. And on one side of the street, black people lined up along the street, you know, to see Santa and get the candy that he threw out. And on the other side was the white folks, you know. So that's how things were back then when I was a girl. That's about all I can remember right now, you know, about how things were like that, you know, as far as black and white, you know, growing up there. But I just thought I'd share that little black history with you guys. Y'all don't know nothing. Most of you young people don't know anything about that. And I hope that y'all haven't helped to bring stuff back like that. You know, by not voting or voting for the wrong people, you know. So that's how it was. Over and out.